and Happy New Year to everyone watching this video. It's a new start, it's a new year, 2024, back on the channel. And I have to really begin with a cautionary tale because this has happened very rarely in the 12 years I've been running this channel, RazorwireReviews. I'm filming this video for a second time. Usually I'll try and salvage or just live with whatever imperfections I might find in a video where I'm like, that bit just wasn't quite right, or whatever it ends up being. In this case, I'm annoyed by a strand bit of hair that's poking out from the side of my ear. That sort of thing. But yesterday, I just plain flat out forgot to turn the microphone on. So I thought, hey, I'll just upload the video with the bad audio. But it was so echoey, so annoying, I just could not abide it. And it's a real sadness because you're missing out on that original video that I filmed yesterday, which was lightning in a bottle, can never be replicated, can never be repeated again. And you're just going to miss out on like 15 solid minutes of just pure gold like this. Before we even get into this, I have to do the age-old, time-honored tradition of every YouTuber. I have to make an apology. I have to say sorry for what I'm about to do because, hey, it's me. Unfortunately, yes, I am starting a new series. I don't know. You can throw all those comments out there at me, all you like. What about this series that you never finished? What about that series that you never finished? Look, I've talked to myself, and I haven't been able to get anywhere. I don't want to toot my own horn. I don't want to contribute to my own kind of eternal ego stroke here, but I think that was like really funny. Like, you can go and watch Ricky Gervais on Netflix for 62 minutes going, oh, this guy on Twitter said this, but guess what? I'm going to say something offensive and I don't care. Oh, he's so good. You can watch that, or you can be entertained by my hilarity, which it's running thin now. I get it, but the point being, I just I couldn't deal with the bad audio, so I'm filming it anew. And of course, let's just get into it. This video is about a new series starting on my channel, unfortunately. Unfortunately for you, but fortunately for me, because I'm really excited about it. And for me, when I get kind of excited and jazzed up about something, I get really hyper-focused on it, ADHD style, and then I kind of flag. So that's why this is not just a series, but it's an ultimatum to myself. Okay? And I'll tell you exactly what the stakes are in just a moment, because the stakes in this are incredibly high. And that makes it exciting and dangerous for me as a film collector, I should state, relatively speaking, and a little bit nerve-wracking. So the Eureka MOC collection, the Masters of Cinema, is a collection of Blu-rays and kind of curated classic films I've loved for 10 years now. I've been collecting these for a decade. It was 2014 I started in earnest to collect these things, and I really wanted to get to 100 spines. That was the big goal for me, and I finally made it a few years later. And then it just kept going from there. I think it was 2020 that I finally pulled the trigger. I had an abundance of money from kind of lockdown and not really going out and doing anything or spending any money. And I made a big order and completed everything. And so now whenever I get a new, Masters of Cinema release, then it's it completes the collection anew. So, what is the Masters of Cinema Ultimatum series all about? Well, basically, I have seen 100 and... Oh, what is it now? Let me see. I had my numbers straight in the video yesterday. So this is already a fatal flaw of this one, is that it's just not going to roll as fluently off my tongue, smoothly, as it did yesterday, because it was really nicely done yesterday. Now I feel like it's a rehash, it's a reboot, it's a remake, but you're not aware of the original, so we should be fine if I just stop focusing on it and get on with the fucking thing. So there are 292 films currently in the MOC collection. across many releases. I think that there are 282 spines up until January of 2024. No, 283, I should say, because this month's release is Samurai Wolf 1 and 2, which is coming out at the end of this month. So this comprises spine number 282 and 283, as you can see there. So 283 spine numbers, I'll leave that in for free as I tend to do, and 292 films. Now films means feature films. It's not including extras, because there are many kind of short films and kind of feature-length documentaries. I think the one that really stands out to me is on, I think, the Holy Mountain. There's a 3-hour documentary called, I think, the Wonderful Horrible Life of Leni Riefenstahl, a 3-hour documentary that is absolutely incredible in its own right. What a film. That's not part of the 292. It's all of the main films, not shorts and not kind of supplemental documentaries. And I have seen, let me kind of reverse engineer this and get my numbers correct. I believe I have seen, no, that can't be right. I need to see 184 of them. So there's 292. So that means I've seen 108 of them. My 111th birthday, I've seen 108 of them, and I need to see 184. Yes. So, yeah. Is that correct? God, what a shambles. But suffice it to say, I've seen about a quarter of the collection, not quarter, a third of the collection. Holy shit. It's just, see, that's the thing. Do I prefer this version where the sound's a little bit smoother? You know, still not amazing, but, you know, yes, I guess that's what I prefer. All right, so sue me. So, suffice it to say that there's a lot I've seen, but there's a lot I haven't seen. And so, my goal for 2024 is to watch all of the films I haven't seen in this collection behind me. This entire unit is, from top to bottom, the MOC collection in its many forms. I don't have a complete collection in terms of like all the different various variant releases. For example, I have all of the steelbooks that they put out, but I don't have the regular editions of those steelbooks. So there's a couple of things I have doubles of, like maybe the different special editions, the recent 4Ks of Caligari and Touch of Evil. But apart from that, I have every spine number accounted for, and that's the most important thing to me. And, you know, this is a collection that has meant a lot to me, and I've discovered so many great films and gone down so many different avenues, spurring off of the things I've watched in this collection. And for the most part, bar maybe 2 or 3 films that I think are just okay, I've really loved my experience with them, and I like having them because it's like always in the back pocket. The one that springs to mind is Soul Power. I just randomly felt like watching it in work one day, and I went home and I watched it, and I loved it. I was just in the perfect mood for it. Sometimes that's kind of how it goes, you know. And so for me, the collection was kind of constantly justifying itself in that regard, where I liked having all of that there at my disposal whenever I felt like kind of diving into it. The same can be said for my whole collection at large, which is a much bigger number of unseen films that I own. But with the MOC collection, I kind of enjoy that there's lots of it I still haven't explored. But there comes a time when, if you've been collecting something for 10 years and you still haven't kind of reaped all the rewards of that, I do think I should make an effort, which is why this series has come into effect. It's not too dissimilar from things I've done before, like Conquering My Collection, which is an ongoing series, you know, which will probably last forever. But, you know, this is a sizable portion of my collection that I haven't seen, and so I think it would be nice to set aside this year to do it. And I think I would need to watch like 3-4 films a week. It's not that kind of taxing. I just need to be consistent, and I need to keep doing it. And then by the end of the year, I can look back and say, I've seen everything in this collection. Obviously, Eureka are releasing MOC titles lesser and lesser, it seems, in recent months. So I don't feel like the new releases of 2024 will be too much of a hamper on my time and kind of, you know, continuing this challenge. But the ultimatum part comes in with my bet to myself that I can do it. And if I can't, the ultimatum is pretty clear. It is crystal. It is right down the middle, right down the line, straightforward, simple, and bold, direct, to the point. If I do not by the end of December this year, 31st of December 2024, at the stroke of midnight, if I have not seen all the films in this collection, I will sell my entire Masters of Cinema collection outright, wholesale, 100%. And I'm serious. Dead fucking serious. So, not much to lose, right? I mean, hey, it'd be a nice chunk of change. The late Mizoguchi set alone would be something that would fetch me a fair amount of money. The whole collection, yeah, that could really fund some of my future filmmaking endeavors. So there's something to think about there. But I love the collection. I'd never want to part with it. And so this ultimatum to myself, which I'm committing to 100% with no semblance of kind of irony or satire or, just putting it on for show for the cameras, I am sticking to it. Barring any serious life events, of course. And I did feel like adding in one exception to this, which would be Showa, which is, I think, an 8.5 hour long film. But I have, I wanted to hold that off, maybe like episode 500 of the Epic Film Challenge to a real milestone episode of my 1001 Movies You Must See Before You Die series. But no, I'm going to include that too, because I want to watch it, and I feel like it's about time I watched it. So, and one other film that is kind of an exception for me, I will be watching it, but I've already seen it, and that is Rumblefish. So I saw that when I was a teenager on late night TV. I remember very little. I just remember loving the mood and the atmosphere and the kind of smoky cinematography, black and white. This monologue by Mickey Rourke, and then the fish that are color, next to the black and white footage. That's all I really remember. I remember really loving it, but I know practically nothing else about it. So I'm counting that as a film I haven't seen and including it in this challenge. So that's kind of the only one I can think of where I have seen the film technically, but it's one I feel like I need to watch again to say that I've seen it, basically. There's a whole lot of stuff in there. There's silent films, westerns, documentaries, and thrillers, and just some interesting things. Every title in there I want to watch for some reason or another. So it's just about really making the time to do it and not just letting them collect dust on the shelf. So that's kind of my big goal for this year, and maybe by the end of the year I enjoy it so much that 2025 I do my criterions, something like that. Let me know if you have anything in your collection that's like that, that's maybe you just, the Barnes and Noble sales keep rolling in and your hauls keep getting bigger and bigger, and you've got so many criterions you don't know what to. That's one thing I really love about Daisuke Beppu. He's one of the hardest working, interesting YouTubers out there talking about movies and physical media. And he has the entire Criterion collection, but he's seen all of them, so he can really back up his insane collection because he's enjoyed all of it, He's not kind of just hoarding discs, which I feel like I am up to a certain point. But I can honestly say everything I have is something that I want to see. It's just the time element. And as we get older and those kind of, adulting responsibilities get in the way, time becomes lesser and lesser of an easy thing to kind of carve away. So I can do it because it's not like a movie a day for a year. It's much less than that. So it's possible, and I really want to do it. And part of me will be sad to have done it, I think, but part of me will be really excited to kind of say, I've done it, I've seen them all, and here's all my thoughts. So video-wise, I would like to do like a monthly recap at the end of every month, just telling you which ones I watched and some brief thoughts on them. And if I do stick to like 3-4 a week, then there's going to be at least 12, 14 films to talk about every month. And then at the end of it, I can kind of reflect on the journey. So the ultimatum starts now. And moving forward, I will keep you updated and abreast of the challenge, of the ultimatum itself, and I will stand by my word. Barring any serious difficulties that might crop up, if it's a nice, smooth, easy, plain sailing year, then I will complete this challenge or I will sell the lot. So, with that, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Happy New Year, and I'll see you in the next one.